Live, going live on YouTube. Hey, what's happening there? Will Ripley here with Campfire Guitar Star. We are live. It is Wednesday at 7:30 here in Calgary, Canada. I'm sitting in here with a custom-made acoustic guitar that my mom bought in the 1970s from my dad's woodworking teacher. True story. And I was recording with it last night, and I came up with this wild tuning. I had something in my head, and I was going like this. I was going just this like overdub. That was it, right? Just anyways, I needed to change my strings into what did I even do? Change my B string to C and my E string to D in order to get those harmonics to happen on those 7th and 12th frets. But anyways, I'm definitely going to record that part. So yeah, I came up with this kind of like crazy tuning here today. Sounds kind of pretty, hey? Anyways, it's kind of cool. It's like drop D on the bottom strings and kind of this D sus chord on the top. So I'm gonna have to remember that. So anyways, it was just a very random thing, but I am gonna get tuned up to standard here. And I wanna make sure that I'm not missing any comments. So we're streaming from 3 different cameras right now. I've got the Campfire Guitar Star Facebook page. I've got, let's see here. Okay, got to make sure that the YouTube channel is working, which it appears to be. There seems to be people on the call. But how do I actually access my own thing from my computer, guys? Okay, I need some tech support. Tech support, somebody help. Normally that just allows me to go into my own thing. What is up with that? So if I go to my channel, okay, let's try that. See, yep, there, that worked. Okay, so I see Misa R, and NorCal Game Anglers. And go ahead, if those aren't your real names, just type in, I see Darlene Crosby on the Beginner Guitar Players on Facebook, who is one of our 101 students and a expert poodle groomer, actually. So guys, anyways, you can probably tell already, we are live. I'm doing an acoustic guitar lesson. So if you've got an acoustic, then great. If you don't, well, hey, that's okay too. We're gonna talk about some easy, strummable, playable songs on acoustic guitar for a beginner. And this is kind of a follow-up to the lesson that I just released the other day called an acoustic guitar guide for beginners. And Mike and I, we put together this video, and Mike was a big help. He put together the PDF that goes along with that acoustic guitar guide. Hey, Simon. Simon's tuning in from Florida. What's going on, man? Good to see you. And Misa says that her name is Natalia. Exactly. So NorCal Game Anglers. You got to tell me your actual name, otherwise I'll be referring to you as NorCal Game Anglers all the time. But anyways, so that is the theme. Does that sound good, guys? Right out the gate, do you guys have any questions about acoustic guitar, guitar playing? What are you guys working on? Like, let's just get the conversation going here. How many times have you played this last week? What's your biggest challenge with guitar right now? What song are you working on? What are you wanting to learn? What's the next song that you want to tackle with YouTube lessons, or maybe you're seeing a one-on-one teacher? You know, what is it? Let me know. For myself, I've been doing a lot of recording lately. Like I was just saying, I came up with this wacky tuning last night that was actually totally inspiring. And so yeah, so I'm working on a lot of original songs right now, working with a engineer and a producer, and he's been mixing some of my stuff. And so anyways, that feels really good. That definitely gets me stoked up. Hey Robert, good to see you on the call. Yeah, and Mike B is a hero. He is. Mike B, of course, is the long, blonde-haired, handsome fella that you also see here on the YouTube channel, and he's 6'4", and like, God, he's got to be around 200 pounds. He is a big dude. He makes me look like a fragile little youth. Anyways, he's a great guitar player, great teacher. I'm sure that you guys have caught some of his lessons. So, guys, let's hop into the first tune. So I'm assuming you guys are all tuned up, ready to go. Let's just talk about some of these chords first. So I think that every guitar player needs to get a solid grip on chord strumming, because a lot of people, they go into lead guitar soloing, or say if you're a rock guy, you might get into riffs or power chords, or, you know, kind of like, you know, say like, or whatever, you know. And so strumming, very different technique. However, I believe that every guitar player, and let me know in the comments if you agree, every guitar player needs to be getting their chord strumming dialed. You know, it's like this basic thing, but surprisingly, a lot of guitar players don't actually know how to do it. So anyways, there's all kinds of easy songs that you can play, and I wanted to tackle a few of my favorite ones that I teach a beginner guitar player, you know, whether they're coming in the doors for a one-on-one lesson, or some of these songs I would have taught in the 5-Minute Guitar book. Anybody have this book, by the way? Let me know. This is a free book. All you have to do is pay for the shipping. And yeah, it's been cool getting that out. And I've sold 2,000 copies of those and shipped them around the world. So that's pretty cool. People seem to be loving it. So it's all good. So let's see. There's a few different ones that we can cover. But yeah, like Jane Says by Jane's Addiction, just a G and an A chord, right? We got a little riff in there, but so that's a 2-chord song, right? Basically, I mean, it's, you know, there's a chorus and stuff, but so some of the songs that I covered in my most recent lesson, the Acoustic Guitar Guide for Beginners with the PDF, that one, the very first one that I love covering is this Lifehouse song called You and Me. Great big hit song. And it's actually in 3/4 time, which is kind of interesting. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. NorCal Game Anglers. You've got it. I got to call you NorCal Game Anglers, I guess. And Toby, good to hear. Yeah, the book orders usually take between 1 and 2 weeks if you're in the States. Anyways, let me know where you're at and I can confirm that. But yeah, so that's good to hear, guys. That's awesome. So check out these chords, guys. We can play You and Me by Lifehouse. We can also play Paradise City. Right? So that's kind of cool. We can also play AC/DC's. Right? It's cool, right? So when I'm showing somebody how to play chords, this is the first step, man. And hey, cool, awesome, classic songs. You know, by the way, AC/DC didn't actually play it like this, but I'm sure you can hear it for yourself. It sounds a heck of a lot like You Shook Me All Night Long, because it is the same chords. It's just just slightly different fingerings to just make that nice and easy. So that would be the very first step, guys, is just get this shape. You know, you can see all along the third finger, second, third, and fourth finger, all along the third frets. And I'm muting the A string because that's just how that ends up happening with my second finger, just kind of covering over the A string. D string is open, G string is open, so we don't have to worry about those. That's cool. And then B string and E string are with my third and fourth fingers. And this is why I love tackling the song You and Me by Lifehouse, because it's just this one finger mostly that's doing all the switching. So this is a G chord, okay? No matter which way you slice it, whatever way you cut it, this is a G chord. And whether you play your G chord like that with your first finger, that's still a G chord. If you play a G chord like this without your pinky finger, still a G chord, okay? Trust me, I went to music college. Okay, so just 3 notes in this chord, and it's just some slightly different variations with the fingerings, but those same 3 notes still exist in all those different fingerings, okay? Okay, so no matter what way you slice it or dice it, it's still a G chord, okay? When we move down here, this is a C major chord, but it's what you call a C add 9, okay? And again, if you add your first finger on, this is the most common way to play a C add 9, okay? But if you lift up your your first finger, your second finger, again, just mutes the D string, and that's fine, okay? Doesn't even sound half bad with the D string open either, okay? So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so Toby's in Jersey, so you should be expecting the 5-minute guitar book to show up any day now, man. It won't take long at all. They actually get shipped out from North Carolina, so it'll be there any day now. Oh, NorCal Game Anglers. I can call you Scott. Great. Good stuff. And, all right, so that's kind of cool, right? So actually, why don't we just go ahead and do this punchy intro to She Shook Me. I guess it's just called She Shook Me, and maybe in brackets All Night Long. I don't know. I forget what the actual title of the song is, but we all know it. Okay, so there's the very first part. Just as long as you know the song, down, 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 right? That would be that riff, right? So we're just switching back and forth between G and C add 9. Okay, and then of course I'm doing these punches. Okay, and that's just with my right hand. I'm just shortening up the chord to get those rhythmic punches happening in the right spot, right? Okay, and if you guys know a D chord, that would be that finalization that you're looking for to play She Shook Me. But the big thing is like a big thing with acoustic guitar and strumming chords is to find those anchor fingers. Okay, so if you imagine an anchor, you know, a big ship out at sea, they throw over an anchor to keep that ship in place, right? So we got to think about our fingers as that ship going through those treacherous waters. And so we want to have these anchor fingers, which will just solidify us and help us through the nasty waters of switching chords. Okay, so this third finger is our anchor. So just try that for yourself. Switch between this G chord, go to a D chord without actually lifting up that third finger, right? And just switch back and forth. See if you can find the finger dexterity. And actually, while we're on this topic of switching from D major to G major, okay, if you guys know this song, hey, why don't we play a little game? We'll play Name That Tune, all right? So it sounds like this. Anybody? I knew this was going to happen in this live lesson where just other songs than the ones I already had planned would just come in my head, okay? Yeah, and hey, nice work. Mr. J. Feb. I guess I got to call you Mr. J. Feb unless you give me your first name. He's just signed up for the 5-minute guitar book. That's cool. And he just called it What I Got by Sublime. Nice work, man. Mr. J Feb for the win. So yeah, so that's, again, just a D major to a G. So in terms of practicing this anchor finger, okay, and you know, I was just like, I want to actually do a video like this here soon, which is easy songs to sing and play. And this would be a good example of that, because you could go, early in the morning, rise up to his feet, dun, 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 cigarette, and strap shoes on my feet, right? So as long as I get like some sort of rhythm with my foot, I can just go strum, strum, right? So each chord gets 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 beats, right? So practice that anchor fingers, practice your chord switching, right? And if you're feeling noble enough, then you can start singing along. Love is what I got. Said remember that. Love is what I got. Said remember that. Early in the morning, right? So you can actually pull off some nice sounding stuff and playing music, you know? There's definitely more advanced guitar players that wouldn't be able to do that, you know? So anyways, this is a skill all on its own. And that's kind of what I was getting to and alluding to earlier, is that chord strumming, so essential. It doesn't matter what kind of style of music you're playing. This is just something that we as guitar players got to get under our fingers, okay? So we were actually talking about what the AC/DC song, You Shook Me, before that. So we were going G, stop, C, C, G, C, G, D, stop, G, G, C, G, C, G. And that's a lot to remember, right? That's a lot of G's and C's and D's like in this various progression. But as long as you know the song, just go and listen to You Shook Me by AC/DC. It's the, you know, aside from that intro. Been a while since I played that, but anyways, it's got that iconic intro. But right away, bow. Build up on the D. So anyways, again, that's just G, C, shook me all night long. Okay, so here's another like big chord, is when you play that C add 9, if you just move your first finger down to the 2nd fret, again, keeping these anchor fingers solidified through the treacherous waters, then this guy right here, you'll notice that it looks a lot like a G chord. If you just put your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, that kind of completes that G shape. But this chord right here, without, if you lift off that 2nd finger, and I'll just hide everything so you can see this, but strumming from the 5th string there, this is still a G chord, okay? As we could see there a second ago, but this note is not a G. This is a B note, so we call this a G over B. And you'll actually see it, and I'll write it right in the comments right now, G/B. Okay, so it's a G chord with a B in the bass, okay? So now if we circle back to the song that we first started this whole thing on, which was Lifehouse, You and Me, we had this to C, put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, and then it went to the 2nd fret of the A string, and there's that G over B, okay? And just to finish this guy off, like the chorus to You Shook Me, Okay, again, boom, boom. That's just like a rhythmic shot, splitting up the strings, bottom, top. Okay, you know, you could also just strum the whole thing twice, but you'll find that as you get more advances with your strumming that you can actually do some cool things like that, like right? So when I'm string splitting that, right? Hitting the bottom, 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 top, bottom, bottom, top, bottom, top. Okay, and it will add a whole new dimension to your strumming. Okay. Okay. C to G over B to D. So you're probably already hearing that. Bottom, shook me all night long. Shook me all night long. Right? So those are the chords, right? So just some basic chords. I mean, I'm gonna skip this next part because it's really like there's more arpeggiation, which means flat picking. But a lot of times you just need that basic chordal foundation. Like we know that it goes to a G, goes to a C, goes to a G over B to a D major. So once you get that foundation down, then a lot of times it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you just stick it all together and follow that chord sequence with your left hand, okay? So NorCal Gamers, which is, your name is Scott. Scott asks, what is your ring finger on? My ring finger is basically always on the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, and my pinky finger is right in behind it. Okay, so that's what we were talking about with What I Got by Sublime, right? Switching back and forth between G and D, but using that anchor finger of your 3rd finger, or your ring finger, on the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, and guys, I keep on getting sidetracked. I want to just show you You and Me by Lifehouse real quick, because once you get these basic chords down, like I'll just go through it really quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got G to C, which we've talked a lot about. Here's a semi-new one, but just a 1-finger switch to that 2nd fret of the low E string. Move that over to the G over B, which we've talked about. Add on a finger. You might have to slide that 1st finger down. Now let's talk about this one real quick. This one's going to come up, and I want you to get this guy right here, right now. Okay, this, my friends, is an E minor 7 chord. So if you ever played an E minor chord, okay, good stuff, right? If you strum it backwards, you know, it kind of has that cowboy western showdown sound. Bow, bow, bow. Okay, now if you add on that 3rd finger on the B string, right, like we talked about, and then your pinky finger right in behind it, on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Now see if you can get all 6 strings to strum together. Cheers, Toby. See you later. And what's up, KJ Chicago? We're passing around first names, by the way. So NorCal Gamers is actually Scott, and Mr. J Feb is John. So KJ Chicago, we're sharing first names here. I may be Campfire Guitar Star, but my name is actually Will. Keith, what's up, buddy? Sounds like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, I mean, it's like a million songs, you know what I mean? Like E minor, it's actually, check this out. If you go E, G, B, E, that's actually an E minor chord. Okay, those are the notes. And actually, I've talked about this. See those hearts coming in on Facebook? Cheers. What song is this? Nothing Else Matters, right? You can do that with a pick too. Great little exercise, by the way. Okay, so anyways, the guitar is kind of tuned to E minor, which is crazy. Oh, Supreme Cheese. Oh man, what is with you guys in in all your crazy handles on YouTube, man? Why can't you just be like Toby? Like, I'm pretty sure his name is actually Toby, you know? Anyways, so where the heck was I? Okay, we were talking about this E minor 7 chord. So do you guys got that on your fingers? This is a very important chord. This is the first chord of Wonderwall by Oasis, the first chord of Zombie by Cranberries, which we're going to talk about in a second. And it's in You and Me by Lifehouse. So far we had G to C to this weird D sus or G major over F sharp to G over B. And then we slid that finger down just a little bit to make room for a second finger. E minor 7 to a D sus. Okay, so this is my first finger on the G string now, 2nd fret. And I'm strumming from the D string, those top 4. And then I think we're back to the C now, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, Keith from Chicago, KJ Chicago, I could have assumed you were from Chicago, but how is it there, man? You ever go to see some blues in Chicago? I always thought if I ever went to Chicago, I'd like to go see some electric blues. Oh yeah, baby. Chicago blues. Okay, so where does that bring us? Okay, so we've talked about like 4 songs so far. And of course, the name for today's lesson is Easy Acoustic Guitar Songs for Beginners. And, you know, all these require no capo. So let's talk about the Cranberries Zombie. And that singer, unfortunately, just passed, Dolores from the Cranberries. Ah, George, hi. Hey, Will, just saw this going on. I'm taking your jam play courses, and you made one hell of a transformation, dude. Keep jamming. I don't know if you mean one hell of a transformation with myself, or or I was able to help you transform as a guitar player. Hopefully it's the second one, but I have changed my hair since I did those jam play lessons. Oh yeah, somebody spotted my shirt. Check this thing out, man. It's Jimmy and the boys. There's Noel's over there too. Indomitable Spirit, Let's Go Crazy. Now there is a YouTube handle. Oh, and Reese, I guess, Reese from Minneapolis. Happy Prince Week Play, GEDC for Purple Rain. Nice. And is it Prince Week because did he die at this time last year? Let me know. I'm wondering why it's Prince Week. Or is it just Prince Week for you because you're learning the chorus of Purple Rain? But hey, yeah, and hey, that was one thing I wanted to ask you guys, which is great. Do you know any easy songs? Okay? Drop those in the chat, okay? This is a great opportunity to share ideas. Of course, you know, I'm a guitar teacher. I run Campfire Guitar Star, and we've got all kinds of products and services, and we teach people one-on-one, and you know, I'm doing this ever since I graduated music college, so I've got some ideas, but you know, believe it or not, sometimes my students will be like, hey, I want to learn so-and-so song, and I'll never heard it before, like this Lifehouse one. I don't listen to Lifehouse, but a student wanted to learn it, and I was like, dude, that is a great beginner guitar song. I'm going to share that. I'm going to make a video specifically on that, okay? And that was part of, like, I did, so I made that about 2-3 weeks ago. That's on the YouTube channel, And then I included it in my last video I just released on Saturday called The Acoustic Guitar Guide for Beginners with the PDF. Okay, but yeah, so I mean, guys, go ahead and share your favorite easy acoustic guitar songs. Make sure to drop those in the comments. And yes, so Prince died April 21st, 2016. So yeah, so just in a few days, it'll be 3 years. Man, it's just so sad, dude. There's so many just amazing singers and musicians that just keep on passing away, man. It's so sad. You know, like what instantly comes to mind is Chris Cornell from Audioslave and Soundgarden, one of my favorite musicians. And I was so sad when he passed. Like that was just like the worst news. And it's just such a bummer. Oh my God. Chris Cornell's on the call. What the heck? That was weird. Okay. You guys got to admit, I was just talking about Chris Cornell, and then, I mean, Chris Cornell just commented. And Chris Cornell just bought a guitar in July 2018. Well, Chris, and by the way, we're sharing first names. This is like the theme of today. So, Chris, is your name actually Chris? Are you actually Chris Cornell? Certainly, there's more Chris Cornells. I met a Justin Cornell the last couple of years, so your name very well could be Chris Cornell. Ah, nice. So, John, Mr. J Fed is 62, and he just started. Awesome, man. Well, hey. We've definitely got awesome resources for you here on the Campfire Guitar Star YouTube channel, and of course, campfireguitarstar.com. So does anybody have this book? We talked about this earlier, and there's some people that were waiting for it, and they just ordered it and stuff. But yeah, so some new people on the call, make sure that you get this. This is a totally free book, okay? It's pretty beefy, definitely a lot of time, a lot of love put into this one. And comes with a video course, totally for free, totally on the house. Want to help you guys, you know, especially you guys as a beginner. So Chris Cornell is truly Chris Cornell, and so there you go. And he's from tuning in from Kentucky. Cool. Keith asks, have you ever played a Gibson BB King Lucille guitar? No, I haven't, but that's Gibson 335 or 335. As they're called, and yeah, semi-hollow body. I have played those. In fact, I just played one in January, a nice like 1964 Gibson 335. There's actually a picture of me on Instagram playing it. Anybody on Instagram, by the way? I'm pretty active on there. If you guys are on Instagram, make sure to give me a follow, and I'll follow you back. But yeah, anyways, there's a picture of me on there. I did this thing for Vertex Effects called Game of Tones, where I was replicating Guns N' Roses guitar parts for Welcome to the Jungle, and that was one of the guitars I used because it was the closest one that they had to Izzy Stradlin, who played a hollow body Gibson guitar as well. So, cool. Chris Cornell has been trying to learn finger picking. Landslide, nice, is so fun to play. And a really good beginner song. Nice. Yeah, so I didn't see too many beginner guitar suggestions come in, but we talked about a couple here today, and let me know if something comes to mind. So we talked about What I Got by Sublime. Right, just D to G. We talked about the chord punches, that intro, and we talked a little bit about the chorus too. AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. Okay, we talked about You and Me by Lifehouse, which a student told me about, so I'm hoping that you guys, as some of my students, can tell me some new songs that are great beginner acoustic guitar songs. So drop those in the comments. And then so Lifehouse, You and Me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Okay. And let me know if there's anything else in there that we talked about that I'm missing. Don't want to miss anything. Okay, so the other one that I wanted to quickly go over was the Cranberries, okay? Because we talked about this E minor 7 chord, this one. So if you gear that one up, then we can kind of do another easy guitar song on acoustic, okay? But more like kind of full chords. And this is like actually how they play it. Okay, so you got a full C add 9 with your first finger. Before we weren't playing it with our first finger. You go to a G major. And this is a full 4-finger G major chord. And here's a great chord too. So this is really similar to that Lifehouse chord that we saw, but again, kind of more of the full version of it. So we've got first finger, second fret of the low E string, second finger on the G string, and then, but what you'll notice is my third and fourth fingers are always the same in each one of these shapes, right? So from here, all you do is you just bump each one of these guys inwards by one string, and you're back to the beginning, okay? So if you just try that little change. So our first chord was this chord, this E minor 7. Then we went to a C add 9. And Darlene says she has the book, and she suggests you get it because you'll be pleased. Awesome, appreciate that, thank you. And then this D sus over F sharp, okay? So this is cool because let's just try this together. We'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 2, 3, 4, switch, right? So we'll try that. Ready? Gear up this E minor 7. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, switch. What's really cool about this one is that you can actually just strum all downstrokes. Down, 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 down. It would be 8 total. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as you can hear, those are some really nice sounding chords. Okay, and those are also the chords to the intro to Wonderwall. How does that one go again? You'll see that my third and fourth fingers for this whole song, like to say to you, but I don't know why. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. Right? So another great acoustic guitar song. And so yeah, but I would really suggest getting Zombie by Cranberries, those 4 chords. Because those are just like classic kind of like 90s and 2000s pop. But you know what? The Beatles play these chords too. So yeah, so again, it's just kind of like one of those overarching big time guitar techniques that, you know, honestly, we all got to get down. So, okay. So I see some suggestions coming in here, guys. And yeah, so Chris suggested Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. I know Mike B actually covers that in our acoustic guitar star program. And that's one of the tunes covered in there. I don't personally know it, but I know the tune, of course. But Chris also just suggested Hurricane by Luke Combs. Okay. And see, now I can't remember your guys' names. KJ Chicago is Keith, right? Keith, you said that you're working on one of the easy blues riffs, and we released a bunch of those. Which one was it? In March, we released probably 3 or 4 kind of easy blues songs. But yeah, let me know if you can remember which one it was. All right, so Robert's out. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on. And Chris is asking, what type of guitar are you playing? And guys, by the way, I'm gonna shut it down here tonight. We've been going live for 40 minutes already, so I think that's enough. We covered 5 or 6 good, easy acoustic guitar songs. And yeah, was it helpful? Did you guys pick up something new? Did you pick up a new chord? Were you inspired to maybe learn some of these songs more in full? Do let me know. Also, I just released an acoustic guitar guide for beginners right here on YouTube. Make sure to check out that lesson because that has an associated PDF with the lessons and the tabs and the chord charts, and yeah, it's like a pretty beefy lesson. So that's a 40-minute lesson or 30-minute lesson, but then it branches out into all kinds of suggestions for a beginner on acoustic guitar. And of course, this is very complimentary for anybody learning guitar. Both electric and acoustic have 6 strings. They're both tuned the same. And so this program is really, we're covering electric guitar songs and acoustic guitar songs, so it's kind of cool that way. But yeah, this is a free book. Make sure to check it out. You can find that at campfireguitarstar.com. And yeah, and let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? If you guys want me to briefly go over something new, or sorry, something that I went over already in today's lesson, or if you had any specific questions, do let me know. Okay, so Chris asked what kind of guitar I'm playing. So this is a custom-made guitar from the 1970s that my mom bought from my dad's woodworking instructor. Okay, true story. So yeah, so it's been in the family for a long time. That's why there's no logo. Is this guy didn't like mass produce anything. He was I don't know how many guitars he made, but I want to say definitely under 40, maybe even under 20. So anyways, yeah, it's a really, really beautiful guitar. And anybody who plays this guitar is like, hey man, if you ever sell that, let me know. It's not worth anything. And that's the craziest thing is like, you can never get anybody to spend $2,000, $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 like they would on a Gibson or a Taylor or a Martin, right? Because it has no logo on it. But I'm telling you, from experience playing all those guitars, this guitar totally competes with all those big brands. And yeah, it's got all kinds of beat up marks all over it, and yeah, it's been through many a songs were written on this Git fiddle. Many a shows were played. It's traveled all over with me. But yeah, I love this guitar. I should actually be playing it a little bit more than I have been lately. All right, so Keith is out. Let's see, where are we at? Learning the guitar would take some work, but it gets easy. Yeah, man, it does. It eventually gets easy for sure. Yeah, hey, so NorCal Gamers, whose name is Scott. Yeah, Scott. Scott says Paradise City. And you enjoy the lesson. Cheers, man. Thanks for stopping in and sharing your first name and hanging out with me. Yeah, so Paradise City, that's another one that I cover in the acoustic guitar guide for beginners. And again, like the strumming is a little bit more challenging. I have a whole lesson dedicated to this song, but check out the left hand though, right? Just one finger movement. So, Indomitable Spirit, Let's Go Crazy, is asking for a link. Do let me know, what link are you looking for? Is it, maybe you're looking for, if you guys want the book, that's actually relatively easy for me to type in. campfireguitarstar.com/5-minute GTR book. That will get you over to, actually, see, now it's not clickable, man, come on. http:// and then www. Let's try that. There we go. Now you can click on it. I'm just going to double check that it works. I didn't mistype something. Yeah, it's the place to go get the free book. All right. And so yeah, so the book's free. You just have to pay for the shipping. And cool. So let me just double check that I. Cool. So Mr. J. Feb. Oh, what was your name again? See, I'm trying to remember everybody's name. John. John says, thanks for the B over G. So it's actually a G over B. G/B. Okay, that's how you'd write that. And again, that's like this, right? So G/B. But yeah, so it's a G over B. So it's a G chord with a B in the bass. And I know it took me forever to get those two sorted out. But yeah, so but once you kind of understand that it is really just a G chord, okay, so it's a G chord, but you have a B in the bass. So it's still a G. So it's G/B because you get this B chord in the bass now, or a B note in the bass. Second fret of the A string is a B, but you're still playing a G chord. So once you kind of understand the theory behind it, then it becomes a little bit easier to say it right. Cool, man. So yeah, John's gonna grab the book. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I haven't done one of these live lessons to the public for a while, so I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with me. And hopefully you found today's lesson helpful. Definitely head over to Campfire Guitar Star. Grab that book if you haven't already. Log into our free membership area if you haven't already. And if you like what you're seeing, if this is helpful to you, I'm sure that you'll consider investing in either our one-on-one coaching. Okay, we literally do this all over the world. We've got students in Europe, all over Canada and the United States, a couple of guys in Australia, in New Zealand. Okay, so connecting with us one-on-one is totally a possibility, okay? And as you can imagine, definitely the fastest, easiest way to get to your guitar goals in the simplest, quickest way possible, because it'd be working with a coach one-on-one. So we actually do that, all right? So you can find out about that over at campfireguitarstar.com. And yes, Chris, that was weird, man. That was really strange. I'm talking about Chris Cornell, and then Chris is just typing a random comment. Oh, that was very bizarre. But yeah, so hopefully you get some value from what we're doing, kind of on the free level. And then if you're ready to step it up, then we have an acoustic guitar course. Okay, it's called appropriately titled Acoustic Guitar Star. We have a blues course. We have a 1960s rock guitar song collection where I teach 50 classic tunes from the 1960s. And we also have a lead guitar course for lead guitar soloing, especially in the rock territory. Okay, so we've got those kind of 4 big bases covered in the one-on-one coaching. So definitely do check that out. I appreciate you guys tuning in today, though, and hopefully pick something up new. And cheers, guys. I feel like I made some new friends here. And so, yeah, thanks so much for joining. I will catch you later, all right? So stay in tune on the mailing list. Go sign up for the mailing list, and